First game of the session. Let's make it a good one, playing against Under. Greetings to everyone on both platforms, YouTube and Twitch. I see you Twitch viewers in the chat. Also, our YouTube audience, thank you very much. I was just checking in with you guys before we went live. Someone was asking if they can challenge to rated or casual. Either one is fine. All right, let's play Queen C2 here. Black playing like a mix of QGD and Slav, I would say. I remember a Kramnik game in this type of setup, so I'll try to mimic what he did in that game. Hello, Lev. I see you on Twitch. Greetings. What's up, Lopare? Hayomish. Greetings to Richard on YouTube. Also, Fotis. Who's going to try to take me down this week? I think last week went pretty smooth up until the Blindfold game. That was rough in a time scramble. But I'm really curious who's going to give me a challenge this week. Hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. What's up, Steakhead Chess? Strange Quark? Philip? Aryan? What's up? Did you get your challenge in, Aryan? Hello, Berserk. GM Salte. Okay, I'll take with the knight. So black opted to try to liquidate the center. Makes sense, but black has this isolated pawn now, so that's something black will have to grapple with for the foreseeable future. Why is this bishop move good? What about c4? At what moment, Lopari? Bishop move. Oh, do you mean like bishop d3 right here? Just trying to get it on an active diagonal. Yeah, battery towards h7. It does invite c4, but I was going to play bishop f5 against that and keep that bishop pretty active. Okay, so we got a trade here. I had just played bishop f5, so Under is not hanging a piece. I'm going to take with the knight. Now, this looks like I have some significant pressure because one idea is simply to play knight takes e7, and on queen takes e7, then play knight takes d5. I think that's what I'm going to do. That looks pretty vicious. We're playing off of this pin on the knight here. I don't have to move my bishop yet because I'm creating a greater threat with knight takes e7 using the pin. Oh, thank you, Shown YouTube. Shown YouTube says they're a big fan of my videos going all the way back to the ICC days. Ah, thank you very much. Yeah, that was the platform that I first started posting on. And I mixed it up over the years. ICC, Lichess, chess.com. I even still play on ICC every once in a while, like once every about 6 months. Okay, so I'm picking up a piece here. You know what would be kind of a cruel move, but I'm going to do it. Oh no, my queen. It's a simplifying operation. I wasn't fully trying to troll. It was a simplifying operation. I'm up a piece. I'm trying to trade down. Might have been, possibly the best move there. But yeah, I feel a little bit bad about that. All right, and now check, and I'm going to win this rook on d8. Or if black takes, I have my pick of which rook to take. Here we go. And checkmate. Thank you, Ander, for the game. So you played a reasonable opening. This is a little bit passive for black, I would say. I think c5, probably not the best move. I would personally perhaps try to fianchetto the light square bishop. Maybe throw an a6, which introduces some ideas of taking in b5. I know that's sometimes how they handle this position. Yeah, because got to be careful when the center opens up. I think bishop takes f5 is like especially cooperative because you see how it allows my knight to come to f5 automatically with all sorts of pressure. That's kind of the downside there. So I'm going to guess the evaluation takes a nosedive after that move. But the position's already kind of tough, to be honest. I like the suggestion of g6 because then if there's a trade, at least you're trading on your own terms. You're actually lining a rook up with my queen. You also deny knight f5. That looks a lot more tenacious. Yeah, c6 followed by c5, maybe a little inconsistent. I agree. Okay, thank you for the game. Oh, I see your challenge up there, Aryan. Rumor 57, you're up. Good luck. If you're there, okay, Rumor is there. Let's play Pirtz. we'll go d6. I saw that Magnus played this the other day in one of the games from the Champions Chess Tour. A lot of chess going on once again this weekend, with the marquee event, of course, being Lichess Plays, as I know you guys look forward to every Sunday. Oh, shout out to Enrico and Erica, by the way. I wanted to give you guys a shout out. That's someone I've been in contact with a little bit recently. That couple, and they say they enjoy watching Lichess Plays every week. So I just wanted to give them a personalized shout out, just because I appreciate that. Thank you, Koteles. All right, let's play. Let's go b5. That's consistent here. A lot of times white will go bishop h6, but let's advance. I haven't made a decision yet about whether I'm going to try to prevent bishop h6. Now that this pawn is loose, I should probably do something like queen a5 or a5. Let's play a5. H4. I'm going to go h6. This is always a tough call, whether you want to play h6 or h5. The benefit of h6 is that I control the g5 square, so I prevent like a knight from coming in here. I do have to watch this pawn now, though. I need to keep my rook and my bishop guarding it for the moment. John, why weren't you participating in I Am Not a GM, the Speed Chess Championship, or I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship? Yeah, I mentioned, I think the other week, I was not invited. All right, how many challenges do we have, by the way? Over 50. Good stuff. We're keeping the numbers up. It's almost always over 50. So that's great to see. I'm going to continue playing forward here, a4. If bishop takes a6, I'll probably take with a bishop. White can win a pawn here, but I don't think I'm that bent out of shape about that. I'll probably just castle. Just castle and look to use one of the files towards the white king. I could maybe even throw this in, but I think castling is even better. Let's do that. I know it looks like I'm castling into a pawn storm, and I might very well be, but I want to connect my rooks. Maybe g5 would have been a little concerning there. But all right. Let's go rook b8. I'm willing to give this away. The engine may not approve of how I'm handling this position, but this is not engine chess. This is human chess. So you got to do what you got to do to make it interesting. We'll play queen b6, threatening queen takes b2. How many games am I going to play today? Well, I'm playing for 2 hours, as usual. And we tend to get about 18 to 20 games in, somewhere in that range. Pretty consistently, too. So that's what you can bank on. Let's play this back so the bishop has some access on this diagonal. Maybe I go c5 soon. Remains to be seen. I mean, white can shove one of these pawns forward, but I have what's known as the padlock pawn structure. So whichever pawn white shoves, I'm going to push the opposite pawn and try to keep this closed, like so. That's the game plan. Yeah, bishop e3. I feel like now I should probably throw in e6 just to deny knight f5. Knight f5 is not strictly a threat, though, because of this. So maybe I can put that tempo to use in better fashion. Like, maybe I should just go c5, huh? Let's do that. Yeah, this move's thematic. Use the c-pawn against white's d-pawn. I want to open this line. Yeah, see, it's a tempting move, but in light of this, I know white can take here with check, but in light of that, it's a blunder. David Mays says, I was also not invited. Nice. Nor was Chris on YouTube. All right. Take on f3. Take on d4. Both moves look legit. Just trying to parse through them. Let's take on d4. Yeah, I think I'm going to capture this one. Shout out to our Lichess mods, by the way. No Joke Chess. Lopare, I already saw you in the chat. Possibly Numeroid, if Numeroid's out there. Thanks to all the Lichess people for making this happen every week. Yeah, let's take. I would expect rook takes, actually. Just have this vibe that white's going to do that. No, it takes with the knight. Okay. So now let's back this bishop off. White could throw the knight back on f5. This looks too passive. Actually, white's getting their queen kind of boxed in here. They're going to lose more material. Could have saved the queen by going knight a5, but that was not pleasant. Okay. Thank you, Rumor, for the game. You know, I think you were doing just fine. I was playing in kind of speculative fashion. I don't know about grabbing the a-pawn. Like, maybe... Yeah, the computer's a little skeptical of even grabbing the b-pawn. I'm actually a little surprised by that. I thought the typically greedy engine would approve of the way that you're playing, but it actually does say that black has more than enough compensation here. So, yeah, arguably that's not the best. It's just one of these tangled positions. You know, we've got mutual pawn storms going on over here. Both sides have this padlock structure, actually, to a degree. Although I'm going to try to go b3 because I can attack the c-pawn in addition to the a-pawn. Yeah, I think after knight d7, I mean, maybe somewhere around here you have to play it a little more precise. Knight f5 definitely being a blunder, but I think the position's still very tense and interesting here. The engine seems to like knight c3, taking the knight out of the way of the bishop, maybe flirting with knight d5. So that's interesting. Even allowing this move, but then going here and attacking the queen. Thanks for the game. Tough one. Mardenio, ooh, 2,400. Look at this. Let's play d4. I'm feeling Jobava London. Who's with me? Jobava London, any takers? I'm going to play it. Mardenio, are you there? High-rated challenger, but we are going to have to move on. You can always re-challenge. Okay, Maxime, good luck to you. 1831. Yeah, they were AFK. Drazinho says, thanks, John, for doing these Euro-friendly live streams. Oh, yeah, my pleasure. Definitely thank Lichess first and foremost. They make this happen. They set it up. I'm very happy to do it. Should I accept the gambit? I really hate accepting the gambit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play... Nah, that's not a good line. Let's just play d3. I'll play my main move here. I tend to like this blocking move. I know this is not the most exciting, but you kind of argue that the pawn on c3 is actually poorly placed because it takes away that square from the knight. So that's what we're going to argue here. Ooh, e5. e5. Does that sound? We'll find out. Yeah, because white could not take on e5 twice because I had queen takes d3 at the end, so white's still trying to play a gambit, to their credit. All right, I'm thinking about bishop g4 here, or a6 maybe. Let's go bishop g4. I think that's just a nice developing move, pin the knight. I am allowing knight b5, but we'll just step back here. Where do I want to go with the queen? Probably to c8 or b8. Close call. Let's go to c8. I'm not sure there's too much of a difference because I'm probably going to play a6 and boot the knight soon, almost regardless. John, is the Smith-mora okay? Yeah, I consider the Smith-mora to be basically sound. In engine chess, it's probably a little dubious. But again, we're interested in human chess for the most part. At least I am, and I assume you guys are for the most part too. Playing against human opposition. So, yeah, engine versus engine. I don't think white's going to score that well. I would say it's like a nearly sound gambit, even in engine chess. Oh. The strategic draw offer. I'm going to have to decline that one. I'm actually going to click the X to decline it. Now, if you're playing in a tournament and someone offers you a draw, you're not obligated to, like, say or react to it. You can react to it if you want to decline it just by making your next move. I just want to be clear about that because some people sometimes wonder if they have to explicitly say something in an over-the-board environment. And you can, like, it might be a nice gesture, but it's not at all required. Okay, bishop e4. I'm thinking about playing an ugly move here, f6, because white is threatening to take and then take e7, so I might want to try to prevent that. I could also play like rook e8 or bishop f6 maybe. Might not be so bad. Knight f6 is another move. Let's actually go... I'm going to go bishop f6. I would expect here in reply, and then I think I'll go here. Reinforce. No. Takes on c6. Okay, was not expecting that. I'll just take with the pawn. No problem. Yeah, this is a rated game, so I'm putting my rating on the line. That's right. Okay, let's go here. And on knight c4, I think I'm going to go queen e6. Keep an eye on both these pawns. Duffman says, the Searching for Bobby Fischer draw offer kills me. Oh, yeah, great movie, Searching for Bobby Fischer. There's a scene where, I don't want to spoil the movie if you haven't seen it, but the main character offers a draw in a funny situation in a critical game at the end of a tournament. They took some Hollywood liberties with that scene. All right. Rook b5 maybe. Defend both pawns. If a4, I'm going to come here. My rook's on a slightly unusual spot, so let's try to make sure nothing too bad happens here, but I'm going to continue leaning on the white position. Maybe knight d5 would leave this undefended, but I don't know how great an idea it is for white to take it. Queen takes e5, knight takes e5, knight takes c3, knight d7. Knight takes b1, knight takes b8. I'm not sure. Let's go here. I need to move faster now. 24 seconds. This is like a berserked game now. Let's play this up. That looks a little bit loose to me. We'll find out. Take with a pawn. We're going to play aggressive here. If knight c4, I have d3. And that will be trouble. Ooh, and I think I'm winning a piece. There's queen a2, but then rook c8. This should win a piece somehow. Still a little work to be done, though, huh? Little bit of work to be done. Let's take. We're going to look to blockade these pawns somehow. Actually, I'm going to come up with my king next, I think. Knight takes b6, definitely not the best move, but I'm just trying to simplify for the most part. Here we go. We're rolling the pawns. Looking good. Oh, he tried to sneak one by me. No. Good try. Good try. I would too in that situation because it was pretty much dead losing. Okay, so we get the win. Tricky, though, at the end. I think if you had given me a check from the side here, maybe, Maxime, maybe rook b4, maybe you have a chance. Rook b4 looking to back my king off a little bit. Because once those pawns get momentum, I think rook c1 is definitely the losing. Well, position might be losing already, but yeah, it allows the pawn roller f4, e3. I could also play rook takes b6. But you had me sweating, man. You had me sweating. Thanks for the game. I think the e5 move was probably just not the best. Yeah, the engine gives you a completely, clean bill of health here. Rook d1, h3. They all look typical in this position. But the issue with e5, white kind of has to play it like a true gambit because knight takes e5. This series of trades runs into queen takes d3, winning a piece. Maybe white intended it that way, but kind of never quite felt like white got full compensation. Like maybe partial compensation, but not full compensation. I definitely didn't play it perfect, though. And you had chances down the stretch in the time scramble. Thank you for the game. Who's up next? Shown Chess. Oh, that's you on YouTube, right? Shown Chess. Good luck. 1985. That's close to the year I was born. You know what? Let's play Smith-mora gambit. Oh, okay. Nice. It's thematic. Some thematic play here. I'm going to throw an h3 just so I don't have to worry about bishop g4. What's up, Yanni Gogo? I see you on YouTube. Greetings. Thank you for tuning in. Whatever happened to Josh Wadeskin? He kind of just disappeared from the chess scene. Yeah, you know, he's not really so into the chess scene. I think after that movie came out, he started moving away from the game and remains an international master. He has a couple other books out, like The Art of Learning, which is actually a pretty good book. He talks about chess a little bit in that book. He's into martial arts, I know. There's like a specific type of martial art that he's a world champion in. I think it's called push hands. Something push hands. It's like very specific. Tai Chi push hands. Yeah, thank you, Atticus Nelson. So, yeah, I think his interest in competitive chess definitely fell off in the, let's say, mid-90s. Mid to late 90s, maybe. All right, so I'm just trying to push forward here. I'm looking to maybe use the d5 square at some point, but I got to plan out how I want to do this. Should I play b6? B6 is an interesting move. I think I'm going to do it because this knight is so awkwardly placed. It has to go to e8. Can't go to a6 because that would allow rook takes a5. And if knight e8 is the only move, then this knight is pinned to the rook. It just looks like I might be able to cook something up here. I mean, maybe something slow, like here, rook a4, queen a1. Whoa, knight b3. That is a creative move. I see the point there. Very creative move. So if I take the rook, Shown is going to take with the knight, unlocking knight takes a8. I don't know, though. This feels suspicious. I can go here to try to win material, like 2 minor pieces for a rook. Is there anything better than that? If I take here, and I'm looking at throwing in knight f5 somewhere, I don't quite see it. Yeah, I think rook b1 is probably the best I'm going to do here. Let's play that. Let's go for it. Creative move. I give Shown credit for that. Creative, but I don't fully buy it. And now here do I play rook takes b3 or bishop takes a6 first? I think rook takes b3. I don't mind allowing that knight to c5. I mostly want to get rid of the bishop. I want knight d5. We want that knight hopping up. So this should be like a technically winning position, 2 minor pieces against a rook. Should I bait him into taking on c3? That would be interesting. I don't think he's going to do it, though. He's not falling for it. Let's go here. I'm behind on the clock once again, so I just need to speed up a little bit. Okay, interesting move. Yeah, I was wondering about this, but I think I'm pretty happy to play this position. This should be all right. Let's go here. And now maybe I'm going to send the knight to this square. I want to solidify e4. We're going to send the knight up. If I could win b7, that would be great. This knight on c5 is black's best piece right now, holding everything together. So still a fight here, but this feels like it's going my way. I have a rook and 2 minor pieces for the queen. That's basically the imbalance at this point. This knight's not doing anything. Maybe I can send it to g5. Actually, I could have played that on the previous move. I should have probably, just realizing. Let's tuck the king. This just feels like a move that's almost always going to be useful. Ooh, all right. I can't resist. We're going to do this, folks. We're pushing the b pawn. Here we go. Now watch for this knight to join in. This knight is going to... I want to get it to a6. Okay? That's where I want to get it. this square. How to get it there. We're going to go off on a journey. Here, here, here. Let's just button everything up here. Ready for the night journey. That's how you can often come up with a plan in this type of position, though. No joke. No joke chess. You ask yourself, where would you place the knight if you had unlimited moves? And if the position is like static enough, that's sometimes the plan right there. It can sometimes reveal exactly the plan you should take. He's going to throw in some checks now, but with the threat of promotion at all times, this is over. Do I have a mate? I don't know. I don't see one. All right, resigns. Thank you for the game shown, chess. Shosh Scooty was rooting for you. Get him shown. Yeah, so that position looked tough once your knight kind of got sidelined here. I think pretty much from b5 forward, it started to look tough. I mean, if you play knight e8, how bad is it? Let's see. No, not so bad at all, according to the engine. Totally reasonable. It's an awkward move to play. I mean, I can understand why you wouldn't want to play it. Disconnects the rooks, but your knight for the moment is safe enough, and maybe you have these this knight b3 idea in mind in the future. But yeah, knight b3, I just had to work this through, but although it's a creative-looking idea, I think rook b1 kind of refutes it. You have the two minor pieces. Black has some temporary activity, but the minor pieces, if they can occupy good squares and there's sufficient material on board, they're usually going to overpower a rook. I really couldn't resist rook takes a6. It's not the only way to play this, but three minor pieces that are well coordinated and a pawn like that, yeah, this is pretty much over. Oh, I could have taken this route. The engine, you see it recommends knight e1. 1, 2, 3, 4 versus how I was doing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could have saved a couple moves there. And knight e1. That's a nice move. But it's good to know that like the engine approves of my plan. Maybe I can accelerate it with this. But the thing is with this, if I go to the c6 square, black may very well take the pawn. So that's why I wanted to keep this as is. If ever a5 is played, I take with the knight and then promote if black takes. So I was thinking, like, this is the one piece. You got to talk to your pieces, right? Like, this is the one piece that's not doing anything. So that's why maneuvering it is so strong. Just a matter of time. Thanks for the game. That was a fun one. Okay. Kagutsuchi, good luck to you. Let's play e4 this game. e5. Should I maybe play like a bishop's opening? I don't play bishop's opening so much. Let's see what black does against this. Possible transitions to an Italian game. Yeah, thanks again, Sean. Appreciate you tuning in. So I could play knight f3. I'll do it. I don't really have any particular theory here. I know you could go d3 and try to delay the knight development for a while. Do I go in order or is it random? So it is random. If you send a challenge, it just enters a pool of players who have also sent challenges. And then I pick randomly from there. I have a button that allows me to pick randomly. Okay, so we're stepping up. We're threatening on f7. d5 is the most popular move here by a mile. You can also play bishop c5 if you're feeling frisky, the Traxler. Now, queen e7, this is the type of move that you see oftentimes from players who are a little less familiar with what to do here. I remember when I used to give simuls a lot, I would constantly have people play queen e7 because it kind of looks like a defense, right? But the problem is you've sacrificed too much material to get here. Black has given up a queen for two minors. I also had many games that went to bishop f7, king d8, and then bishop back to b3, threatening knight f7. All right, so we're castling. And I am behind a little bit in development, but no big deal. Looks like black's going to try to castle by hand here. Reasonable plan. Let's play f4. Let's try to open this up. Open the middle of the board. Yanni says, looking forward to see you do another battle against Rosen. Last time didn't work well for him. Oh, when's the last time we played? It was probably on chess.com. We played like a couple bullet games. It's definitely been a while. I don't think I've ever played a proper match against Eric Rosen that I remember. Yeah, I don't recall. Okay, let's take. Oh, yeah. Actually, I did play him on Lichess recently in one of the titled arenas. That's right. It's coming back to me now. And I won that game, but I was making certain to avoid any semblance of a stalemate trap at the end of the game. Right? Like, you just got to be hyper vigilant when you're playing against the stalemate master. It was just a mantra. I was repeating it to myself. I was up a ton of material. I was like, just don't stalemate him. Don't stalemate him. Don't stalemate him. All right, so the bishop is looking embarrassed here. Black can put something on g4, like bishop g4, but after I move my queen, that bishop is a goner. Takes. Okay, reasonable. Knight g4. I'm going to go here. Knight takes e4. Let's just wait a minute. I might have check. I was about to trade rooks, but then I noticed this check, because if the king goes to the corner, I have rook takes f8. Yeah, checkmate. Black could have played bishop e6 or d5 to try to prolong the game, but to no avail. Thank you, Kagutsuchi, for the game. Appreciate it. Yeah, so you'll want to look into this opening. You played in principled style, e4, e5. I kind of get the sense you're a newer player, which is totally fine. We welcome all players to chess, players of all skill. I would recommend probably, so in this position, Kagut, probably playing bishop c5. This is what I tell most of my students who are, unfamiliar or debating upon which move to play. Bishop c5, I think, is a little easier to understand, and it's safer because knight g5 is not a problem. You would win the knight, actually, if white plays that. With knight f6, although this is perfectly legitimate, you do have to be ready for knight g5. You have to know how to handle this move with the quick attack on f7. If you already had your bishop out, you could castle and you'd have that pawn defended. But here, you kind of have to know the theory, especially if you're going to play the main move, which is d5, because even here, according to theory, black should not take back knight takes d5. That can lead to trouble with either knight takes f7, the true fried liver, or d4, which is the lolly attack. So, this is playable. If you want to, you can look into that. But for simplicity's sake, I would recommend going here, and then let's just play some standard move for white, then playing knight f6 so you can meet this move with castles. And you don't mind this trade. This trade's almost always good for the side receiving the two minor pieces. So just a big difference there. Because as played with this queen e7 move, it's kind of a phantom defense, right? Like you do have two defenders here technically, but not the defenders you want because the queen is more valuable than two minor pieces. Thank you for the game. Looking forward to seeing more of you on Lichess Plays. Okay, leave. Hello, you're up. Yeah, you guys like this set, the Maestro set? Yeah, I think this is a beautifully designed set, personally. Good luck. All right, let's play a hyper-accelerated dragon. We're going to go for a Fianchetto. Oh, you're from Norway. Okay. A lot of Norwegian players out there. And now c3, yeah, that move's definitely possible. Let's go bishop g7. We're going to allow d4, and then I'm going to take and play d5. John, have you read or heard about the book All the Wrong Moves by Sasha Chapin? Yes, I've heard about it. I have a copy of it, but I have not read it. I should read it when I get a chance. Is this Magnus smurfing? Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's playing in the Champions Chess Tour along with Lichess Plays. Can't put it past him. Oh, that's all right, Kagut. You tried. That's the most important thing. Let's go knight h6. Okay, so in this line, because the f6 square is covered by the pawn, we're going to develop a little creatively. Look to get the knight on f5 at some point in the future. Try to put pressure on d4. Maybe I can sneak bishop g4 in too. Kind of remains to be seen. All right, my opponent takes that away. Makes sense. You might wonder why not queen a5, which would hit the king and the bishop. White could just play knight c3, though, and defend. So that's why I'm not going for that. All right, so here I have the bishop pair. My development's reasonable. Just thinking how I want to handle this. I could play bishop a6 and hit the rook. Not sure I really want the bishop there, though. Definitely knight f5 comes to mind. However, I constantly have to think about what happens if g4. f6, I think, is reasonable. You know, I'm going to play this move. This looks a little odd, but I'm kind of borrowing an idea from the Gurganidze variation of the Caro-Kann, which I do play from time to time. Okay, white goes here, though. This is really inviting knight f5. Even still, though, I think I'm going to play the knight back to f7. I want to challenge this pawn here. I want to make white make a decision about that pawn. Can white play e6? They could, but I have the bishop covering that square, so I'm going to take it. All right. Let's go here. Rook e8, occupy the file. Now I want to unwind some of these pieces, like knight d6 maybe. I feel like I'm a little bit better here, but it's not anything substantial. It's this is going to be a fight. I do like the bishop pair, though. Let's bring the bishop out this way. Who's the highest rated or most well-known player you have played OTB? Definitely Wesley So. I played him twice, actually, over the board in events in my state of Minnesota. Because he used to play some local events, like maybe 6 to 8 years ago. And I had an opportunity to play him twice in tournaments. It was really cool. Of course, I lost both times, but amazing experience. I mean, he was already probably close to top 10 in the world at that point. Let's play queen b6. I also played Ding Liren in the Pro Chess League a few years ago. That game is on my YouTube channel. You can find the analysis. That was a rapid game. So not an over-the-board game, but still highly notable player. I think Ding, by the way, watching him play recently, I think he's my favorite for the candidates. What do you guys think? Who do you think has the best chance in the candidates tournament? He's looking real sharp. I thought he might be fatigued, but you know, there's still a few weeks to go before the event starts. I thought with all of the games he had to play in order to qualify, he might be fatigued, but I see no semblance of fatigue. I think this could be his year. Let's take this. All right, now I could play bishop h6 if I want to get that rook to move, but I could also take and then... I don't know about that. Don't know if I should capture first. Let's play bishop h6 first. Skewer the two rooks. Force a trade here. I think a highly probable line here, it would be a blunder for white, but it'd be an understandable one. Take, take, rook e1, take, take, and then I win the d4 pawn. Yeah. That's just the problem at the end of this line. Natural sequence, but maybe that's like a practical reason to go for bishop h6 because that looks so logical for white to contest the file. Oh, white blunders a knight. Not the one I was pre-moving. I was pre-moving queen takes e1, but white blunders this one instead. Let's go here. Taking away h2, threatening queen d1. Oh. And this is GG. Oh, my opponent's very fast, getting in a lot of moves here. Thank you for the game. Yeah, tough one, Liv. The way that you played this opening, this is pretty standard up through here. I don't think the bishop usually goes to b5 in this line. Yeah, lots of games from this position. Oh, actually, bishop b5 is played a fair amount. So don't pay attention to me. Kramnik has played it. I got to admit, I'm kind of winging it in terms of my understanding of this line. What does the bishop really do, though? Because if you don't take, maybe you're just trying to induce like a6 or something. Yeah, it looks like black usually follows this plan that I pursued in the game. Maybe it just kind of hangs out and like says, I want to be annoying. Maybe induce a6, which is a potentially weakening move. So I take that back. Like, you did play this fine. Again, the computer is not really liking the trade, though. It says if you go knight c3 here or castles, you're doing just fine. So definitely something to look into. But seems like you knew what you were doing in the opening. I think as played, I didn't like the move bishop e3. That felt wrong to me. Don't like that bishop wedged in there. Maybe start with knight c3. You could maybe even just take right away if you want to clarify things. That would be fine. Yes, I'm running some pretty powerful hardware here. I upgraded my computer about 1.5 years ago, and it's been awesome. So thank you for the game, Liv. Tough one. Just think you're under pressure later from the 2 bishops a little bit. Okay, Riemann, hey, this is our under promotion to a knight with checkmate friend. Good luck to you. Let's play a French defense. You can find a clip of the game with Riemann on the Lichess YouTube channel. Maybe a mod can link it in the chat. But what did we learn from that game against Riemann? We learned that if you hold down control, the control key as you're promoting that, and you have auto queen on, that takes away the auto queen and can allow you to choose any piece that you want. Okay, so if you're in a time scramble situation and want to get a piece other than a queen, you want to under promote potentially, that's what you got to remember. Okay, this is a typical mistake. Bishop e3 in the French. I don't know how many pawns I should try to take here. I mean, I can take c3. I don't know if that's the right way to play it. I'm going to play c4. I feel like you French defense players have probably been in this situation many times. Okay, now I'm going to take this one, because that pawn chain is a lot to deal with. Maybe queen a5. I'm going to play one more queen move just to get it out of dodge. Could also start doing this, but I'm trying to avoid a specific little tactic that white has. Actually, I'm going to play one more queen move. I'll show you why after the game. Rajabov is also a dark horse, by the way. Yeah, I would say Rajabov's a true dark horse for the candidates, because I saw the odds that were released, and I think he was dead last in terms of the odds. I mean, fantastic player, don't get me wrong, but yeah, that would be a real dark horse pick. Bonus points if you guys know why I did this, especially queen d8. If someone can figure that out, I'd be impressed. I'm sure some of you can figure it out, but... Have I earned any more Rosen trophies since the last time I checked? Castle's Kingside Mate or Castle's Queenside Mate come to mind. Well, that under promotion trophy definitely, was recent because of that game where I held down control. We're going to take another pawn here. But other than that, I'm not sure. To bring back fond memories of Queen D8. Ah, yes, of course, right. That's the key reason. It reminded me of the Queen D8 Scandy, as Drazinho and Duffman said. I didn't even think about that reason, but you guys might be right. I'm going to keep the knight. I'm up material here, but white's pieces are pretty passive, so I don't mind keeping white cramped a little bit. Should I kick this knight like h5? I don't even think it's necessary. I'm just going to go bishop e7. Okay. Queen here. What is my opponent up to? Is he trying to sneak in knight g5, queen takes h7 mate? But I've got that square covered. All right. Queen, rook b2, looking to double. Let's go h5 now. I'm going to kick that knight. If knight e3, maybe d4. Oh, but then knight takes c4, so it wouldn't work. Okay. All right. Let's go a6. I'm going to try to go for b5. That is a wall of pawns coming at white. Very annoying wall. And maybe now I'm finally in a position where I can play d4. Advance, and this pawn is safe. And now d3. I can't resist. Let's keep going. I have bishop a3 as well, if I want to pin here. But those rooks are so bad. I don't know if I want to. Let's just play bishop e7. And that was a blunder. But not looking good for Riemann anyways. Too much material. You love rolling the French pawn center? Yes, yeah, it's pretty aesthetically pleasing when you knock out a couple of your opponent's center pawns and you get the pawns rolling. Absolutely. So very mobile set of pawns here. We'll continue. C2. If rook e1, I can promote. I could also play bishop d2. So white takes. We're going to take here. And now, let's go knight check. Followed by here. Let's go for b4 next. I am a little low on the clock, but this is definitely looking good. Oh no, my bishop. Checkmate. Okay. Thanks for the game, Riemann. Little deflection there at the end. Yeah, losing that pawn on b2, probably not fatal. Like you can argue some compensation from here. I think you got to keep the c pawn though. But it's tough. I mean, if you go rook c1, bishop a3, maybe you can go rook c2. I'm sure this is objectively just a bad position. Okay, so the one thing that might like bail you out in some cases, so let's check this. So here, let's say I go knight e7 right here to try to go knight f5. White goes rook c1, and then I play queen a5. White to move in this position. What would give white some good practical chances here? Do you guys think? It's probably just the best move, but what would you guys play as white in this position? Yes, very good. A couple of you guys got it. Yeah, bishop takes c4. Idea if d takes c4, knight takes c4, hitting the queen and allowing for knight d6. So if my queen moves again, I don't know, let's say queen c7, check. I mean, all bets are off now. Knight takes f7 coming. Maybe the computer's still going to like black somehow. I probably wouldn't take in this instance, but it kind of shows you, like, even in a position that looks dominating, never let your guard down in chess. Never, ever, ever relax in this game, because one move can turn it around. We've all been there. So that's why I was going through great pains to like avoid bishop takes c4 with tempo if my bishop rather did not have access to d6. So I'm not worried about it like here if white tries it, because I could retreat in the bishop guards. But if ever I play this knight e7, this like semi-awkward French move that you often play with your bishop getting temporarily blocked, got to watch that. But yeah, Riemann, in this position, usually white plays bishop e2, develops and keeps an eye on d4, also b2, or a3. I think a3 is probably one of the most ambitious moves, looking to play b4. But definitely watch that b2 pawn as well as d4. Thanks for the game. All right, moving right along here. The Soru Gambit. Let's play in English in this one. Hello, Adam says, hi, John. Which openings do you recommend for beginners? I don't want to go with Italian/Spanish because everyone plays it and I find it boring. Well, yeah, I do recommend Thesauro Gambit. Are you there? I guess not. I do recommend most beginners play e4 as white to start out. I think it's just a good idea to get exposure to the open games. I do recommend Italian game for what it's worth, so you're probably not going to like that. However, you don't have to play the boring Italian with like c3, d3. You can play the open stuff with d4, or maybe like Evan's Gambit, as Great Sensei just said. You have options within, that to to tweak the margins a little bit. Okay, c5. Yeah, challenging move. Let's go e4. John, you didn't explain the queen d8, did you? Well, that's why I played queen d8, so that when bishop takes c4 is played, and then d takes c4, knight takes c4, it wouldn't hit my queen with tempo. I want to play knight e7 without having to worry about that sequence. Okay, this is already a weird position, e6. I can go knight b5 now if I want. I could also just take on d5, kind of play in the center. What should I do here? Strange. Knight b5, knight a6. I don't know about that, because I don't really want to go e5 at that point. Normally, knight b5 is a big theme in these positions. But I'm going to take, I think, in this instance. Could play knight f3. Let's do that. Let's just see how black reacts, because maybe black will play the natural move knight c6, but that would definitely be a mistake now, I think, because of this. Like, now this makes much more sense, right? Because I'm threatening knight c7. Black can't put their knight back on b8 and then play it to a6 in one move. Black can go queen a5. That's always a move you got to look at if you're thinking about knight b5. That comes with check, but my knight is defended. So queen a5, I would just play c3. No problem. So this is one of the classic Jobava London tactical ideas you got to watch out for from the black side. Bishop f4 with knight b5 on the way. Shashkuti says, let your guard down leads to Eric Rosen's stalemate. Yes, that exactly. The mere fact that stalemate exists as a rule in chess encourages you to never let your guard down. I've never understood the people who want to get rid of stalemate. There's some prominent people out there, or not that they want to get rid of stalemate, but I think they want to make stalemate a win for the stronger side, the side with more material. I've never understood that, because that would take so much joy out of just like playing positions that are objectively lost. Okay, and Elliot P resigns. Yeah, I think knight c6 is actually pretty much fatal. Yeah, this is bad here. So yeah, if white goes e4, usually black is taking one of the pawns here. If takes here, white can play d5, or I think d takes c5 might be playable too. That tends to happen a little more often. c5, very principled move, but you can play e4, yeah, e3 if white wants to keep it in more pure Jobava London territory. But be wary of knight b5, needless to say. How to make Eric Rosen abandon chess? Yeah, right. Eric would just, the day after they made that rule change, he would hang up the pawns. He'd be like, I'm done. Okay, Cuttlebug, good luck. Let's play another Jobava London if we can. I don't know how you guys feel, but like all of the rule changes that have actually been proposed to chess, like just always seem like a I don't know, over engineering the potential solution to a problem that really doesn't exist. Like chess is such a rich game on its own. It's like almost perfectly designed. It stood the test of time, centuries and centuries now of the rules that we play with today. I think the game is almost like perfectly harmonized between tactics and strategy. I just don't know why you'd want to mess with that. Okay, what should I do against bishop d6 directly? Play bishop d3. I feel like I should know the move here. Should I play knight b5 here? Nah. Because I don't want to go knight e2, because that blocks my light square bishop. I can play knight h3. I think it's between knight h3 and just taking. Or bishop d3 even. Let's just go bishop d3. I'll look to get this big clamp if black takes. What, you don't like vertical castling? I know, man, I know. Ooh, castle's here. This is dangerous. Allowing g5 with tempo. I'm not going to play it yet, though. I'm going to play knight e2. Won't getting rid of stalemate make chess boring? Just go a pawn up and hold it to the end. You would think so, right? I mean, it destroys pretty much all endgame theory, for one thing. Yeah, you'd have a lot more games that are just decided by war of attrition. All right, can I mate here? Queen h7, king f8, queen h7, queen h8, king e7. He's escaping, so this is the key square. This is the square I want to guard. Hard to do, though. Right? Like, if I could get a knight up to f5, that'd be great. I don't actually see a mate. I mean, I can win the g7 pawn. That's almost a given. Check. Check. Take. This is rook g8 at that point. The game continues a little bit. I mean, that's probably, strictly speaking, the best thing to do. I don't know, though. It feels like there should be maybe be more. Could think about like knight g3, trying for some knight takes d5. It's very coffee house, though. I'm just going to play this. We'll go for this line. Oh, Cuttlebug gave me 15 seconds. That was nice of them. You didn't have to do that, Cuttlebug. But thank you. Opponent wants you to take your time. I know, right? Goosh says, keep the classical game untouched. People who want to change chess can play chess variants like 960. Yeah, and you know what I think is the ultimate proof of chess as we understand it to be basically a near perfect game is that none of these variants are really popular. I'm going to sack the g5 pawn. I could take with a pawn, but I don't like that one. Like, if you look at all the chess variants out there, which ones have actually achieved any level of popularity? This blunders a rook. I can take. I can also play check. King d6. Let's do that one because it's kind of fun looking. I mean, I think if you've been around chess long enough, like, you probably dabbled in some of the other variants. But show me one single variant that has actually achieved any remote level of mainstream popularity within chess itself. Checkmate. Thank you for the game, Cuttlebug. Thanks for the 15 extra seconds as well. Thank you, thank you. So, got to be very careful about castling here when there's like a hook that white can use. G5 hitting hard, attacking two different things. Makes it very difficult for you to deal with the position getting opened up. So, yeah, got to be kind of cautious in this line. I would definitely not castle here. I'd try to develop on the queen side and maybe look to castle over here if possible. Truthfully, though, I think this variation is kind of tough for black because you're facing a flood of pawns that, although I can't immediately advance g5 because of takes, I can't take with the h-pawn due to this rook hanging here. That situation for white is definitely one that they look forward to pursuing at some point in the near future. So thank you very much for the game. Grubel, good luck to you. Grubel with the wings. We've had a few Lichess patrons here that we played today. Very good to see. Horde chess is the real deal. Oh, yeah, right. That's chess in its purest form. Let's play a Sicilian. Baku says Bughouse is fun. Bughouse is a good variant. I'd say Bughouse is definitely a top 3 variant for me personally. I do like 3 check. I saw someone mention that. That one's fun. That's a great way to improve your calculation, by the way. Just looking at what else you guys are mentioning here. Queen e2, a little awkward. It does defend the pawn. Thing is, though, the pawn wasn't really hanging because of queen a4 check. Duffman says 960 is tedious, in my opinion. I don't like it at all. I completely agree, and I've met a lot of people who share that opinion, that 960 many of the starting positions are just awkward, right? Like, it's a cool concept, don't get me wrong. And for a while, it was kind of touted as the variant that theoretically could take over chess. But I think it's been demonstrated just a lot of chess players do not like 960. Okay, this hangs the d4 pawn. So knight takes d4. Could also play bishop, knight takes g5 first, but I don't know if there's much of a difference. Let's take this one first for clarity. Atomic is addicting. I've heard that. I don't play Atomic myself, so maybe I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I would say personally, like Bughouse is probably the variant that I like the most. I think 3-check is right up there too, but Bughouse is actually pretty fun. I like Bughouse more than Crazy House. Let's attack this pawn. What's Horde chess? Oh, you'll have to take a look at it. Let's just say it involves a ton of pawns for one side. Ranks and ranks of pawns. All right, a6. a6, knight takes d5, queen e5, check. Let's do it. Check. Bishop back, d4. Does that win material? Looks like it. Also, along with it, with this discussion, is the notion that chess is like played out and that at the top level there's too many draws. Chess has like dealt with that criticism for decades, right? Like I remember in the mid 2000s and even way before that, but like the mid 2000s, people were talking about that constantly. There were all these games in the Sveshnikov defense that often did end in quick draws, and people are like, "We got to do something about this. There's way too much, peaceful chess going on here. The players are too good. The games are bound to end in draws if you've got two equally strong players at the top level facing one another." But look at the engines. Look at the engines and how much better they continue to prove to be than humans. Like what is the latest version of Stockfish's theoretical rating? Is it like 36, 3600, 3500? It almost doesn't matter. It's it's a mark that no human is going to get close to ever. And that shows you how far we have to go before we can claim to understand this game. $4,300. Ooh, I can take the queen. I also have knight d4. Let's take it. Hey, John, have you checked your Carlson number? Thank you for the game, Grubel. No, I have not checked my Carlson number. I saw that there's a website. Lichess tweeted about it recently. I was thinking about showing it for today, but I looked at the website and I didn't quite understand it. So maybe for next week, we'll take a look. And Ahmad can maybe link to the Carlson number site. Yeah, thanks, Grubel. This knight g5 move was just a little too loose. You were trying to challenge the knight, but you lost sight of that d4 pawn. Yeah. And again, queen e2, not strictly necessary. I mean, it's an interesting move, but remember, so if you played even something like bishop e2, remember knight takes e4 is not a threat because of queen a4 check. That's a fork. Ooh, there's a game between two masters where that happened, actually. Poor Gerhard Luders. Gerhard Luders fell for that. Little does he know, this game he played in 2002, 20 years later, we're looking at it on Lichess Plays. And feeling sorry for him. But he learned the hard way. Hard way. Even a master blundered knight takes e4 in that position, fell for the fork. There's also a whole discussion here about this game. Delayed Alapin says best opening no cap. Well, that's a very suitable username for that. Unfortunately, their account has been closed. But they're professing their love for the Delayed Alapin. Make sure you use the database tool on Lichess, by the way. You can find all sorts of rabbit holes on there and interesting stuff. But thanks for the game, Grubel. Who's up next? MG Cagnus Marlson. Good luck to you. Yeah, that's an interesting anti-Sicilian. It is, definitely. All right, what should I play this time? Let's play a Caro-Kann. Adam asks, is there any way to improve patience? I often lose games because of my way too quick decisions. Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that. Absolutely. I have an unconventional recommendation for that, by the way. Okay, so if you have trouble in playing too quickly, I highly recommend you do what I'm doing here, which is like narrating your games, self-narration of your games. And we're streaming this live, but it doesn't have to be like that, of course. You could just use some sort of recording program on your computer to record yourself talking through your moves. If you talk through your moves, it is instantly going to slow you down. And actually, you'll probably start to understand your decision-making a lot better over time as well. Now, this is not something you can do like over the board, but if you're playing online, go for it. And it might be a useful record for you too. If you go back and examine your games and your thoughts on them in game. John has the opposite problem. Exactly, yes. I could have gone for another pawn here, by the way, but I didn't want to get too far behind in development. So I'm just taking one pawn, and I'm offering a queen trade. Okay, queen e2. This looks a lot like a Scandinavian now. I've got my pawn set up here and here. I'm liking my position, but I got to make sure white doesn't get too much of an initiative in the short term, right? Totally expecting a rook to come here. Should I go for a pawn? Again, like I could. Feels a little bit greedy. I mean, I actually bet the engine's probably going to like this. Should I do it, guys? And white can win the pawn back at minimum. So nah, let's not. Let's go here. Offer a queen trade. What is your fifth favorite opening? That's rather specific. Fifth favorite opening. I'd have to think about 1 through 4 first. Well, I know number 1, but 2 through 4, I'd have to think about. True Beerus says, I sometimes start drawing arrows to force myself to slow down during rapid/classical. Yep. I'd be curious what % of people when they're playing online use arrows. That'd be an interesting stat to know. Normally I'd play rook a d8, but I'm a little worried about this pawn. So I think I'm going to play rook f d8. Yeah, queen c2, that makes total sense. Bishop here, perhaps? Am I afraid of bishop e2? Probably not. Yeah, let's just look for a swap. Funny Animator says, I've tried to stop using arrows because I feel like it's cheating, helping visualization when you can't do that in real games. Yeah, that's a good point. It's probably not the best habit to have in the long term if you're interested in improving over the board. I do definitely agree with that sentiment. Let's go here. I don't really want to take and help white lift a rook, so I'm going to back my bishop off so my queen doesn't have to stay guarding here. White might lift the rook anyways, but it's a little bit different now. All right, now I think I'm going to play g6, so pawns on light squares against the enemy bishop. I might play b5 soon. We shall see. Queen c5 also looks pretty reasonable here. Let's go queen c5. Am I afraid of rook takes e6? I don't think so. Okay, so I'm up a pawn. Everything looks guarded. I can play moves like king g7, maybe double the rooks, maybe knight d5 at some point. This should be a technically winning position. Could take a while, though, in practice. We're going to lift the rook. Let's bring this over. I might start running the e-pawn. I think that would be a pretty normal plan here. Keep an eye on this pawn, though, for the time being. Knight e4. Knight e4 looks pretty tempting. Threats. Take that. And white loses on time. Thank you for the game, Cagnus Marlson. So you never quite got compensation for that pawn out of the opening. Sometimes it can be dangerous for black to take that. But I think you probably have to play a little more energetically. I thought queen g3 should be played here after I offered the queen trade. Yeah, queen g3. The engine's not buying the compensation, but the queen probably deserves to be here because at least that will make it harder for me to move the bishop without blundering g7. So that's, I think, the thing you want to go for. Queen e2, it felt like I was able to complete my development pretty smoothly, and without any pawn play here, you're kind of grasping at some breakthrough. Unless you're going to sacrifice a piece, I don't see how the compensation materializes. Okay, good game. Moving right along. Clark Matt, good luck to you. All right, another e4. Let's play e5. I don't think I played any e4, e5 from the black side today. Maybe we'll go knight c6. Yeah, I'll take my own advice and play the black side of the Italian game, Gioco Piano here. And white goes d4. Okay, so we're going to get a principled line here. Yeah, this is one of these variations where you got to know what you're doing. You got to know how to play this for both colors if you're going to go into this. Bishop takes c3 is the move. Now, in this position, d5 is actually the main reply. All right? B takes c3 looks so natural, but the thing is, if black gets to go d5, in theory, black should be doing pretty well here. And now I'm just going to castle. So I'm up a pawn. The knight is nicely anchored. There's no pawn breaks I got to worry about. So we're liking this for black. Let's go bishop f5. Am I accepting random? Yes, I am. Yes. Anyone can challenge. It just has to be 3-0. And people have been very good about that today, by the way. I haven't seen any other challenges than 3-0. So thank you guys for that. Is d5 before bishop takes c3 good too? Well, there's actually an old game. Oh, you mean right here or here? Because there's a game, Steinitz versus von Bartholomew, the famous game where von Bartholomew stormed out instead of resigning, where von Bartholomew played d5 right in this position. I think that's playable as well, although not as good. The Magic Rook game. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's go after that bishop, I think, next. I don't know if I want to give up control of e5. How should I handle this? Queen d6 can take, and then this is hanging. This is probably fine. Let's go for it. Yeah, because now when that bishop retreats, I've got 2 knights on awesome squares here. Bishop's under attack. Did I troll anyone with a G to G? Got to go? No, I haven't done that today, Nick. There's still time, though. Oh, thanks, Duff, man. Yeah, I did review that Steinitz versus von Bartholomew game on my channel with a physical board. Okay, so white is opting to defend the bishop. A lot of stuff I can do here. Kind of wondering if I can somehow take advantage of this. Like, I could play this probably, right? It's a fancy move. It's also completely unnecessary. Although I kind of want to play it. I'm just going to go queen d6. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my knight to e2. But maybe knight g3. But I don't want to lose on time. Pawn is a power lifter. Right. Yeah, he's got the 2 dumbbells up here. Or the 2 plates on e4 and c4. Okay, now let's take. And then take here. I'm on the rook, and knight e2 is going to land. Also, I'm on the bishop as well. So something's got to give here. Let's just pre-move this capture. That's what I'll do if white takes on g6. Kagut says 3-minute is too fast. Yeah, 3-minute is very fast for a lot of people. I wouldn't recommend 3-minute remotely for a improving player. We play it mostly to get a lot of games in, to make sure a decent amount of people have a chance to play. But absolutely, I'm right there with you. You gotta play something longer if you want to improve. Fork. And if rook d1, I can take here with another fork. All right, we're just cleaning things up here. Give a check. Take this one. We're very close to a mate now. Where's the checkmate? Let's kind of trap in the king. If I can ever force white to play h5, I will have mate here. Right? Let's go f6. Oh no, that's not mate. I still got to cover the f5 square. Where is my mating net? Ah, this is how it's going to go down. Now here. Still one, nah, not even a trick for white. I was going to say, thought there was one trick. This is one of these weird situations. It kind of seems like king takes e5 should be legal, right? Because my pawn is like pinned to my king. And any other piece could, of course, like safely take that rook. And I'd be unable to recapture. But with the king, they just don't allow that. So thank you for the game, Clark Matt. We talk about this theory every once in a while in this line. This is a fun variation. Black has to know what they're doing. Bishop takes c3 is the best move here. A lot of people play knight takes c3 and get destroyed after b takes c3, bishop takes c3, queen b3. You can look into that line if you're interested. Yeah, and here, you got to know to play d5. I know b takes c3 seems natural, and even Steinitz, actually, in the first world, one of the early world championships against Lasker, stubbornly played this move. But it's known now that after d5, black is better. Black is better in this position. Up a pawn, the knight is anchored, the bishop's attacked. Black's completely fine. Steinitz tried to demonstrate that they have compensation here, but nah, you don't want to play this as white. So you play d5, and there's kind of a number of variations from here, with bishop f6 being, I think, the most reliable line. You actually retreat the bishop. Could also play this or this, but I would prefer this move. So make sure you take a look at that, Clark Mad. Thanks for the game. Okay. McCricks, good luck to you. A d4 player. All right. Let's play knight f6. We'll play e6, maybe some Nimzo-indian action. Pin the knight. One of the best openings in chess here, the Nimzo-indian. I personally, in playing d4, find this one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult, opening to get an edge against. I really, really struggle to do much against the Nimzo-indian. I think it's just equal if black knows how to handle it. Because you saddle white with these doubled pawns oftentimes, and if white doesn't have a good way to get rid of them, then white has to try to compensate for that in other ways. Steinitz played a lot of garbage openings, though. Yeah, he was a man of conviction, as Duffman just said. Yeah, Steinitz, he would engage in like academic chess battles with people via chess magazines of the time. He was, of course, very big on king activity. There's a pretty hilarious game from one of his matches with Lasker where that got him in massive trouble. His predilection for king activity. He like walked his king to the center of the board in a queenless middle game situation and got annihilated when it was completely unnecessary to do so. Wilhelm Steinitz. That was a good trade on white's part. Taking here, they did notice that I was threatening queen takes bishop. Could have gone back to d2 maybe too. Now, let's see if McCrix notices that this is not possible. I'm going to pre-move, but I think this pre-move will not land. McCrix is going to see it. Yeah, plays g3. Could win a pawn here. But the pawn is pinned. I'm just going to go for this and bishop here. Okay, one more chance for white to blunder, but again, I don't think white's going to do it. I'll be happy when this pre-move doesn't register. I'll be happy when it's not played, McCrix. There you go. It's like that scene in Good Will Hunting when Ben Affleck tells Matt Damon, I forgot what the context was, but he's like, I'll be happiest like when I go to your house in the morning and you're not there. Basically saying like you deserve better in life. So that's how I felt when McCrix didn't play knight takes d4 and castled instead. All right, I'm going to go here now. I could also take c4, but I'm going to threaten knight b3 in the process as well. This is kind of typical Nimzo-indian play, by the way, getting play against these pawns. Very wholesome, yes. Okay, now I'm going to take this one, finally. Why do you think about the world? What do I think about the World Chess Championship? It favors the world champion too much, says Tafaska. Interesting take. In what way? Why does it favor the world champ? Okay, I do not want to move the bishop here because then I get back ranked. Here's another test for McCrix. Do I want to test him on this? I do. I don't think this is the best move, but is McCrix going to see that the tempting rook c8 is no bueno? He does. Very good. This is a good move, too. I'm going to go knight e7. See, I'm allowing the rook into c7, which is why I shouldn't play this way in the first place. But I guess I could play like rook c8 after that. Let's do this one now. So if white takes the bishop, I take the rook on c1. Okay. Not bad at all, McCrix. You're going to lose on time here, but not a bad effort whatsoever. I set you some tactical traps at various points in this game, and you didn't fall for really any of them. So this opening, though, personally, I think a3, although this is a line, I don't think it's the strongest way to play because oftentimes black will take on c3 voluntarily in the Nimzo-indian and double the pawns. If you're going to do this and actually encourage it, like invest in an entire move to take on those doubled pawns, you'll want to know the theory a little bit. So, like I recommend queen c2 in this position, which is one of the main lines, just so if ever bishop takes c3, you can take with the queen. There's a lot of theory with e3 as well. Thank you for the game, though. But yeah, after bishop g5, queen a5, I think white already has to be pretty careful in view of queen takes c3. The bishop isn't quite right out here early on when knight e4 could be possible. Because the thing is, if white takes on f6 now, I don't take back. I play queen takes c3 check instead. And if queen d2, then queen takes a1. Thanks for the game. Okay, MSV, you're up next. Good luck. How about a Dutch today? Maybe a Stonewall? I can maybe work that in. We're facing the Van Geet opening, though. Knight c3. Let's play d5. Jobava London transposition? Yes, indeed. All right, so we get to see how I'm going to handle this from the black side. Let's go a6. We're just going to rule out knight b5 entirely. Then we're going to expand. c5. Ooh, and white played bishop e2 and then bishop d3, so a bit of a waste of time from white. I guess I'll take. Right, yeah, white didn't go for the early f3. Exactly, so that kind of cut against that move order. Let's go queen b6. Let's just ask white what they intend to do about these points. Oh, hello, Rankwise. I see you in the chat, by the way. I missed your message a moment ago. But thank you very much for tuning in. Okay, takes on c6. I probably want to take with a pawn here. Let's do that. So my queen can annoyingly stay attacking b2. Not even sure I'm going to take the b2 pawn, if allowed, but it's irritating for white to have to think about it, at least. Yeah, rook comes over. I tend to resolve these positions just by taking and then here. I think I'm going to do that. I do want to unstack the c-pawns, undouble them. If knight a4, I can always give a check and attack the knight. Yeah, my pleasure, Kagood. Thanks again for playing today. We'll go here. Ooh, locked in bishop alert. Bishops do not do well on outposted squares sometimes. Because if their retreats are taken away, it's trouble. Yeah, my opponent just resigned. Resigning might be a little premature. I mean, I think white can get some compensation here. But yeah, be careful about outposted bishops. They're often better placed on the sides of the board. So thanks for the game, MSV. Yeah, I think the whole bishop e2, bishop d3 thing didn't work in your favor. We can consult the database around here. Knight e5 early on they often play because that introduces some interesting g4 stuff. Black has to be kind of careful. Like say I play c5. I think g4 is already pretty dangerous. Yeah, chasing the bishop with the help of the knight and the queen guarding. Because if bishop g6, white has this typical reply h4, threatening h5. And I don't really want to play this because take and my structure gets wonky. So yeah, bishop e2, bishop d3, not the best. Probably should look at that early knight e5. Sorry, I can't join that team. So I appreciate the invite, but I'm going to pass. Okay, CS camper. Counter-Strike camper, huh? Good luck to you. I spent many an hour playing Counter-Strike as a kid. Yeah. A lot of time playing that game. 1.6? That sounds right. Whatever version was out like in the mid 2000s. Circa like 2003, 2004. I still remember all those maps, Dust, Dust 2, Aztec. You just never forget them, right? Isn't that kind of funny? Like, I'm picturing Dust in my head right now. Probably the most famous Counter-Strike map out there. And I could navigate that blindfolded now, despite not having played the game in over 15 years. I'm going to try to castle queenside here. These positions tend to be a little bit more watered down compared to the normal Scandi with queen takes d5 because we've traded one pair of minor pieces. So I think black has an easier time, and the position just doesn't have as much tension. You guys want to see some Counter-Strike on my channel, huh? Maybe someday I will. I'd have to download the game, download Steam. All right. Let's go f6. I think this is just a nice way to solidify the center and maybe prepare a pawn storm. Now, though, since white has played c4, these squares in the middle of the board are pretty weak. I may target like the d3 pawn, for instance. I'm considering a change of plan, a slight detour. First, though, I'm going to go here. Now, if CS Camper plays queen a4, trying to snipe my pawn on a7, knight d4 will actually be a good reply, I think. All right. I could go after this pawn, but let's go for an attack instead. I'm going to go g5. b3 doesn't look quite right. Seems a little slow. Yeah, I think I should take now. Let's take and go after this pawn. Just the best outcome for me. Thank you. This is my life, meow. Glad you're liking the explanations. Yeah, b3 didn't help white whatsoever. Agreed. Too slow. Did I play Halo? No, I never really played Halo. A little bit in high school with some friends, but I wasn't into that game so much. You can't imagine me playing Counter-Strike. Yeah. I could totally get that. It would probably seem kind of odd having watched me play chess only. Imagine like talking through Counter-Strike, trying to explain my thought process, and just like get taken out by my opponent's pistol or something. All right, let's set a little bit of a trap. Actually, you'd probably get knifed instead of pistoled. Someone will just sneak up behind you. I can take here now. Oh, yeah. Counter-Strike's very strategic, yeah. Very casually, I've tuned into some of those streams sometimes when they have the World Championships going on. It's kind of fun to watch. Oh, I should have taken there first, but I was just guarding d7. Okay. Thank you, Camper, for the game. Much appreciated. Yeah, so I think you played the opening completely fine, especially for your level. The whole c4 and then especially b3, this is a little too slow. If you want to get a pawn storm going, you'd want to play something like a3 to try to prop up b4. Make sure b4 advances on a protected square. Try to get b5 in. You're not looking to really keep your pawns on the queen side like nice and orderly. You want to use them to attack and try to press my king here on the queen side. Otherwise, it's going to be hard for you to drum up much play here. I mean, your position doesn't look that bad, but long term, I think it is. The d3 pawn is very weak. It's a backward pawn, meaning it does not have a pawn adjacent to it that can defend it. And I could try to attack it further with a move like bishop f5 at any point. So I think I would go for some sort of queenside attack if I were you. Even if you happen to lose a pawn or two, if it opens lines, it may be worth it. as happened early on in one of the games that I played, that Peart's game from very early in the stream. So thanks for the game. Good luck with your chess improvement, CS Camper. Okay, we're down the home stretch of the stream. We still got about 30 minutes left, though, a little less. JDS, good luck to you. C4. All right, let's play G6 on move 1. Maybe a Nimzo-indian by transposition. Ooh, we could get a Jinji, guys. D5, bishop takes C3. Oh, a lot of people play this knight F3 move, unfortunately, though. It's kind of a buzzkill move. I don't mind this position for black. I think black's doing fine here, but it takes a lot of the fun out of things. Okay, I'll play D6 now. And I often develop the knight through H6 in this line, trying to come to F5, so I'm going to do that again. Play rook C8, maybe eye up this point. Okay. Yeah, let's go knight F5 now. So all these pieces converging against the knight. Was I good with the sniper in Counter-Strike? I did like to snipe, yeah. I like to play with the op and also the scout. That was fun. I'll take with a pawn, try to cover these squares. I like my position here. Kind of hard for white to develop. These bishops aren't too effective. White has a hard time playing b3 or b4 because of the constant attack on the knight. Do I have a favorite streamer outside of chess? I don't really watch any streamers regularly outside of chess. I will say Kit Boga is pretty funny. He's the guy who does like the scam baiting. His dedication and his creativity is just hilarious to me. So I tune into his stream every once in a while. Do I sometimes watch Blitzstream for your French skills? No, I see Blitzstream streaming a lot, but I don't watch him. Exactly, JR Magnus. Like his dedication is just unbelievable. Kit Boga. He's been doing it for years. Hello, Darposh. Thank you for tuning in. First time chatter on Twitch. Did I play 007 GoldenEye? Oh, you bet. Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the games. I played that all the time on N64. Upside down bathtub. Oh, nice. Good observation, JDS. That's why you're going to lose the game, because it's an upside down bathtub. It's not the conventional bathtub. I mean, it is from my perspective, which is a bullish signal for me, but not for you. Your king is going to get eviscerated here. All right. Let's throw in the check here. The tub is overflowing. Hopefully you weren't an odd job player. Let's give a check. We're just chasing. King d2, I can play check here. Pick up the rook. The white king got flushed out. The bathtub was a total loss. Not even sure a plumber could help him now. Oof. Thank you, JDS, for the game. So you lost that piece on c3. Yeah, kind of a typical blunder, losing sight of the bishop. Probably got to play something like queen c2 or maybe bishop d2. I think that's the right approach. You're going to have to take things slow for a few moves. But yeah, truthfully, in this position out of the opening, I think really the only challenging move is for white to play d5. Usually you want to meet c5 with d5 in these d-pawn openings. Thanks for the game. Okay. Attack 2007. Ooh, we played before, haven't we? I remember your username. I remember you. Let's play d4. I think we had a Queen's Gambit decline last time, so maybe I'll go Jobava this time. I apologize if you guys really dislike the Jobava London and you've seen me play it multiple times this stream, but I'm kind of on a Jobava London kick. Let's play e3. I played e4 in that other game in this position. And it's just very interesting. I mean, does anyone out there dislike the Jobava? Compared to the normal London, which gets so much hate, right? It's hard to find someone who dislikes the Jobava London. Don't you guys think? Sometimes the London hate just gets lumped into one. Like people are like, oh, London system. But they almost always mean the conventional London. Let's go here. We want to make sure e5 is not played. Now probably this move. Right? Yeah, I think so. If queen a5 check, I can go c3. I think black can win the pawn back, but in the meantime, I have ideas like knight b6. We'll see what black does here. Jobava London is not London. Exactly. I've said this before, but it's an e4 opening masquerading as a d4 opening. Its payment says all my homies like Jobava. Matthew on YouTube says play the Delugi London. I don't know what that is. Is the Jobava a good intro to the London system? Never play London at all. I'd say it depends on your level. Like, it's definitely a bit of a quirky line. I think we can all agree on that. It's a quirky variation because you're blocking the c-pawn on move 2. Like, it's not the most harmonious move, but it accelerates your development. And there's very interesting dynamic attacking ideas that flow from it. Okay, I'm going to go here, I think, first. But very likely I'm going to jump knight e5 soon. Ooh, black backs off there, though. I don't know about that. I thought bishop h5 would be played. Okay. Interesting. Let's go a4. Stake out some territory. Thinking about this still, but I want to time it right. Yes, Jobava is kind of anti-positional. I agree with that. b4 take. Probably nothing doing there. Very tempted by that possibility, though. Let's go. Is he trying to go e5? Let's go here. I don't think I even mind e5. e5 seems loosening to me. I don't think that's a move that I hate to see because these pawns are pretty fragile now. You know? I do need to pick up the pace, though. Okay, let's go b4. So black has to play queen d6 here, which looks exceedingly awkward. Knight d4. Bishop c4 even. Knight h4. Maybe there's not much here, but it's, again, it just seems a little difficult for my opponent. Okay, let's go knight d4. Again, need to pick up the pace. I'm way down on the clock at this point. I trust my bullet skills, but I don't want to fall in love with this position and lose on time. Takes. Ooh. I'm going to take this way. And if take here, I take here. And I'm open up the attack on d5. Okay, let's develop. Let's go here. Pressure. Pressure, pressure. How does black unwind from this? This is going to be tough for black. I think black's significantly worse at this point. Cranking up the heat. Ooh. Okay, now, though, take. I can win a pawn. Folks, we've won a pawn. Not over, though. Not over. Let's take. Oh, this is going to be tough in time pressure. Wait a minute. Can I do this? I think I can. Oh, no, I can't. Ah, he played h6. Oh, that was my mistake. Still, though, interesting position. Okay. Wow. Black really weakening their king. Hold up. My opponent's kind of panicking. This rook is hanging too at any point. Let's go take it. Need some pre-moves. Mate coming. Whew. Oh, that was close. Good game, Attack 2007. I think you started playing a little too fast after we had rook versus bishop. G5 was like a panicky move. You didn't have to do that whatsoever. I think I missed a tactic on the previous move. And oh no, maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't. Okay, so the reason I played rook takes d3, aside from the bishop obviously being just annoying, I thought that I had this, queen f8, queen c4, which actually I see doesn't even work because of queen f7. So yeah, that idea was totally junk. I thought I was like skewering and winning the rook somehow. But yeah, that was not the case. But if I were to pinpoint one move, Attack 2007, g5, you completely opened up your king with that move. Looks like the game is about even, which makes sense because I do have 2 pawns for the piece. My king is safer compared to yours, but it should probably be a draw with best play. But yeah, g5, you're really playing with fire with that one. I couldn't find a mate, but I was up enough material that I didn't mess it up. Yeah. Okay. Well, interesting game. You know, maybe here knight e4 is the better way to play it. Oh, also knight d7. Yeah, you can perhaps try to win this pawn back without giving up the bishop pair in the process. So I could see that being good. Some games in the database with that. I think as played, white's probably a little bit better just because of the bishops. E5 felt a little loose to me. It did seem like you had trouble keeping these pawns together, but then again, you were way up on the clock. So thanks for the game. Toughest game of the day right there. I very narrowly won that one. We'll probably get about 2 games in here to wrap up the stream. Beatles 1, 2, 3. Good luck to you. Thank you, Surzaki. Thank you, Tomas, as well. Or Thomas. Are you there, Beatles? Oh, yeah. Thanks for the game, Chess Hub. That must be you. Attack 2007. Okay, Beatles is not there. Sag. The Beatles broke up. All right. Little Evil Devil, you're up next. Let's play E4 in this one. Not much info to go on. Okay, just 1978 provisional player. Let's play Open Sicilian. We're going to get a Najdorf? Dragon. Okay. All right. I'll play my Yugoslav attack. Let's go bishop c4. I think castles on move 9 is considered a little bit better these days. But I kind of like to play this way. Yeah, this variation. All right. Yeah, let's castle. If takes now, I'm going to take with the c-pawn. King b1. Seems like my opponent knows what they're doing. Let's go to knight d5. Take. So knight takes is unplayable because of bishop takes g7. There's discoveries there. So that's a little tactical thing that works in white's favor. This whole bishop e6 approach, I think, is like the theoretically approved way to handle this from the black side nowadays. Okay, let's go here. I think black's getting ready for a5. That seems like a pretty safe bet if they play a move like queen b5. Now, I was thinking maybe I play queen e2 here to try to offer a trade and kind of free up the c4 square maybe for my bishop. I wonder if I can do this. Probably not. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, little evil devil. Yeah, let's go here. I think this is the safest thing to do. I want to meet a4 with bishop c4. You know? So no exciting kingside attack. The way that black played it didn't really make it conducive to trying for something like that. But an interesting situation nonetheless. Okay, bishop b5 maybe. Bishop b5, rook a5, I suppose. Could play b3. Something about b3 seems a little weak, though. I don't know, though. I think I have the dark squares reasonably guarded, so I'll play it. Rook c7. Okay. Let's double. Feels like I'm a tiny, tiny bit better, but I'm not under any illusion that this is like an advantage that should win the game for me. If black plays right. Black looks solid enough here. Not too worried about my king, to be honest. I mean, with queens off the board, and black's rooks like not participating down, let's say, the A file, I think that situation's actually pretty stable. Let's go here. If he takes on d5, I have bishop takes g7, or even just bishop takes d5. So now I'm just trying to grab space. Grab space with the pawns. It's an interesting position. Again, like black is lacking a bit of maneuverability because they're always tied down to e7. This pawn, it's a hard pawn to get rid of. Yeah, which way to take here? I kind of feel like the c pawn should be the capture. Let's do that. Allows my rook access here. So if I go g5, probably not working. Let's go h4. Creative. Okay, I'm going to go back. So if here, I still have this. Knight goes back. Okay. All right, let's take. Go attack that pawn. Interesting situation. Still very tense. I think I might go here. Though it does allow... Let's go here first. Tough opponent. It's going to come down to a time scramble. It's a very tense game. It's going to come down to a scramble. Okay, let's trap him in now. That might have been a mistake. I'm going to come forward with this. Let's go back here. I mean, even up through the very end here, this is tense. Yeah, the time got the better of Little Evil Devil. But very tense situation. GG. Good game. Very good game. In a rapid game, I think this middle game would have been a real interesting one to play out. I might have been worse at times because I have to carefully consider how to advance these kingside pawns. This is sort of like frozen for the time being. You know, a lot of these pawns here, even e7 to an extent, we're kind of waiting. I've got my rooks doubled up against the pawn. So I was thinking my best plan would be to gain space on the king side, but it may not be much. I mean, the analysis has this pretty level throughout. And then massive volatility at the end of the game when we're low on time. So yeah, thanks for the game. A lot of games played from here. Yeah, this is kind of theoretical stuff these days. Ooh, I should know what to do in this position in case I ever get this again. Queen d3, main move. I played rook he1. That's also been played a lot, but a5. Black's done their homework on this line. Yeah, I could see how this is pretty much equal according to the engine. Very drawish line according to the stats. Again, maybe white's like a tiny bit better here with the two bishops, but black lacks weaknesses. You know, in correspondence play, I think they're playing this line of the dragon a lot from the black side. All right. Now, our final game of the day. You guys know what time it is. It's time to get rid of the pieces. We're playing a blindfold game. Feel free to follow along on Lichess if you want to see the actual pieces moving around. Otherwise, you can take a look at it from my perspective. Yoga Fire, Yoga Flame, you're up. I have black. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Final game of the day. We get e4. Let's make it spicy. Let's go c5. Knight c3. a6. Okay. Transposition to a con. Oh, this is rated. This is a rated game. Yoga Fire Flame. I got to defend my rating. Ooh. Monka S. Oof. All right. Now the pressure's really on. Rated 3-0 blindfold game. You guys aren't missing anything. The pieces are gone. It's a blindfold game. Bishop d2. That seems awkward. Let's go knight c6. Takes. I think you usually want to take with a pawn in these instances, so I'm going to do that. All right. Okay, let's play bishop c5. Wonder if I can get some sort of fishing pole attack going. We'll see where white castles. If white castles. Because I have my queen on c7, hitting h2. But unless white castles, it may not be worth much. Queen there. Okay, reasonable. Let's go b5. I'm trying to keep my options open. Probably e5 was a better move there. But we'll see what happens. Oh, white does castle. Okay, so this is kind of what I was hoping for. But now is the moment to try to do something with it. All right, let's go h5. We're going to make this real spicy, folks. Real spicy. Bishop e3. Should I do it? Should I do knight g4? It's so unsound, though. I'm going to try it. Don't try this at home. Do as I say, not as I do. Don't try this at home, folks. I'm threatening queen h2 mate. I'm giving the knight, though. There's a pawn on h3 that can take. So let's prepare the recapture. Whereupon I will resume. Oh, plays g3. Okay, that was not the right move. g3? No. I can play bishop takes or knight takes. I think I should play bishop takes. Okay, now I have queen takes g3, right? Okay, so I have one material. And now I can trade and play knight takes e3, right? And I'm going to win the rook on f1 next. Okay. Takes to the rook, so I'm up plenty of material now. Let's go e5. King e3. Can I take here? Take that pawn. Hit the rook. Oh, and Yoga Fire Flame resigns. Thank you for the game. Yeah, I'm up an exchange plus multiple pawns at this point. Thanks for the game. So the key test of this idea, knight g4, little fishing pole idea, trying to use the bait that I've set, the knight, to open. Now you could do this, and then to defend against here, go g3. And I know that looks scary with the open h file, but I'm pretty much bluffing here. I was thinking about going queen e5, queen h5, but I think it's just too slow. Yeah. So that is why the engine gives like multiple double question marks here. It does not approve. But then again, we like to make it interesting when possible in these games. Yeah, don't look at the engine, right? But Yoga Fire played g3, but that was, yeah, far too dangerous. You've compromised your pawn integrity here, and things collapse. Yeah, too much material now. I think also, you know what, on b5, I think e5 was a much better move. Attack the knight. Maybe you can wedge your knight in on e4 as well. So, if this were a longer game, I'm almost certain I would play e5. If this is a long non-blindfold game, e5, bishop e6. That's usually how black wants to handle this position. What's up, Sir Zaki? All right. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. This was Lichess Plays, 2 hours of 3+0 Blitz. Make sure you use all the features on Lichess. Check out the platform if you've never have before. It's completely free, always will be free. It's a great service to the chess community. Thanks to the Lichess devs, especially Thibaut, who built Lichess himself, and the entire Lichess community. Thanks to the mods. Sorry if you didn't get a game in today. There will be other Lichess Play streams. Watch for them. Usually there's 1 or 2 going on during the week, too. Sabina does a lot of them. Sabina Feuser. Tim Tebow. Not Tim Tebow, but Thibaut Duplessis, I think is his last name. Probably mispronouncing his last name, but thanks again, guys. We're going to raid someone here in a moment. If one of the mods is in the chat, might be Leo Pari, who's in charge of the raid. And I will see you guys next week. Take care, everyone. Thanks for tuning in on Twitch and YouTube.